Hello, I'm Peggy and I'm going to explain about question 1 of the risk theory computer-based test. From the question, we are given 4 urns, each containing multi-sided dice and different numbers of dice. The dice sides are from 4 up to 16 sides at intervals of 2, where each side has equal probabilities of getting rolled. The question provided information about a random multi-sided die is picked and rolled, and the result is X. The estimated result of the next row of the same die is 6.200669931, which is a slight change on the question. So the question asks us to find X. So firstly, we insert all the information we get from the question into the Excel sheet, which is the quantity of each type of die and the total numbers of them. We then compute the probabilities of selecting each type of die under each urn, which is this column, by dividing the quantity of the specific type of die over the total number of dice in the urn. Next, we list down all the possible values of X in a table and calculate the probabilities of each X given different types of die. To compute this, we can create a table and use the Excel if function, which is if X is less than or equal the number of sides, the probability is 1 divided by the number of sides, or else it's 0. After having the values, we can compute the expected value of X given each type of die, which will be used in calculating the expected value of X later on. The values are calculated by summing up the multiplication of X values and their conditional probabilities, which we can use the Excel sum product function by adding up all the multiplication of X values and their respective conditional probabilities. Next, we create a table to compute the probability of a specific value of X, which will be inserted later on given each type of die. Then we multiply the values with respective probabilities of selecting the die to get the joint probability of X and DI. Now we can get the probability of DI given X by dividing each value by the total. So with these values, we can get the expected value of X. By the law of total expectation, we can get EX by multiplying EX given DI and probability of DI given X. By adding up all the values, the total equals to EX in this urn. So by repeating the same steps for the other 3 urns, we can get the values of EX for each of them. Then we can sum these 4 values and divide them by 4 to get the average. So after completing this worksheet, we can insert different possible values of X and try out each of them until we get the targeted EX as requested by the question. In this case, the value of X could be 7 or 8. Both we can get 6.2. So that's all for my explanation. Thank you so much for listening.